I am wearing this bag in solitude of this pathetic organization. Hey, this is Six of the Universe. I'm going to keep this bag on as long as I can. You can still see my face. It's transparent. Wow. I've been keeping up with everything. Real life happened and just... I don't even know if I want to watch the games. I don't even know if I want to watch this team. There were some recording issues at times, and so this is actually a recording of the second time. The first time I'm going all angry Greg Ryan, but I can't even do that. I'm just ashamed. I'm embarrassed. How do we get here? From a personnel standpoint, how do we get here? You managed the draft in 2014. A dominant player at the most dominant position, going all the way back to freaking 1984 and Patrick Ewing. Hakeem Olajuwon, Yao, Duncan, Shaq. It's been a 35-year formula, and no, the game hasn't changed. You see what the Nuggets can do with Jokic when healthy. Fully contenders. If you have a dominant big man, you are normally 2/3 of the way there. The other 1/3 is perimeter play, and oh my fucking God. There's so much to hate Ben Simmons for, but I think the number one thing I hate Ben Simmons for is that because he was on this roster particularly, the wings that are being targeted are the exact opposite of the wings you would put next to a big man. Yes, Danny Green can shoot in the corner. He can't do anything else. You need to be able to dribble a ball. Seth Curry is all 6'2", just like J.J. Redick. Not really a wingman. Oh, Shake Milton? I'm not going to rag on the second round pick. I think he's a nice eighth man. You saw him starting, and by the way, now that you saw him starting, I hope that his stupidity quiets down of Maxey and Embiid together doesn't work. No, that's a Matisse Thybulle issue. As Derek Bodner of his new newsletter, I believe, the 76 or something other, Derek Bodner wrote an article on this issue. Basically, teams are sliding down from the weak side. It's easy one pass away. You don't have to guard them. And it hurts your Embiid, it hurts Maxey, it hurts anybody who tries to get in the paint. That's what's happening. It's not the center. I mean, think about it. If it were the center, Andre Drummond can't shoot. So theoretically, Maxey should struggle more with Drummond than Embiid. It's not the center. It's your small forward. That's the issue. It's been the issue all year. It will continue to be an issue until the organization actually gets a fucking stunning wingman. But tonight, you didn't lose to the wingman. Durant's Durant. I am not going to judge all wings to Kevin Durant. That would be ridiculous. But they did enough to give you a sucker puncher's chance. But you did lose the game to one position. You still lost the game to a single position. Enter in Tobias Harris. Wow. I think that's Tobias Harris' worst game of his career on both ends of the floor. And you want to know what's even worse about it for me? I was an advocate of firing Brett Brown, along with, DJ Eastwood and the others. We came to this consensus from an obvious standpoint of, these guys running around like chickens. You have them literally stepping out of bounds. What were you doing with your motion offense? And then defensively, you're still with the drop scheme, etc. You're still with those things, right? And that's why you wanted to move on. And the other reason you wanted to move on was the ideal of getting Ben to shoot. We all know how that turned out. Forget that for a moment. We don't have to talk about that. But the main thing for me, one of the big things for me that Brett Brown was never able to do, that I actually think that Doc Rivers is worse than Brett Brown at, it isn't even in-game adjustment. How about in-game reading the floor? I think it's the most important skill for a coach to have. I literally think that if you're an owner and you're looking for a coach and you're a general manager and you're a general manager and you're at this process of hiring a coach, I think the number one thing you need to look for in the games that they have coached, you need to ask yourself, does this coach have a feel for the game? Does he see what's happening on the floor and makes adjustments accordingly? And by adjustments, I mean lineup adjustments in this case. I'm not talking about playing adjustments. I'm not talking about running different sets, although that would be nice. Tobias Harris was a ball hog. I don't think Tobias Harris took any less than 5 dribbles tonight. Not once. Once the ball went into Tobias Harris, even more than usual, the ball died. So I guess he does hear the public criticism from others, and he's taking it personally. But you can't do that. You have to play within the game, play with your teammates, trust your team, trust the coaching staff, trust the system. That's what you have to do for us to win. When we had those 2 comebacks against the Nets, both times with Isaiah Joe in the ball game, those guys trusted the system, trusted the play, they trusted what they were doing. Tobias Harris, nah, I'm 1 on 5. Like, he barely struggled to pass to Embiid twice. Dude, you're the same guy who said Embiid's the best player I ever played with. Then pass the fucking ball. But as bad as Tobias Harris played, and yes, he played bad, I want these people to understand that yes, Doc Rivers gets 80% of the blame for seeing that pitiful offensive execution, not even performance. If I use the word performance, you'll be thinking about, the end result. I want you thinking about the process to get there. The process to get there was so terrible that under no circumstances, as a coach, I'm giving you coach speak. If I were at the sideline right now for us, I cannot possibly sit there or stand up and watch him continue to dribble the ball out. You saw that Rivers do that. Hey, Doc, if you're as upset as we are about it, fucking change it. Get him out of the ball game. And when he's out of the ball game, you ask you why, tell him. You're taking too many dribbles. You're not attacking off the screens. You're not passing when you need to pass. You're not playing with the team and playing for yourself. That's what good coaches do. That's what Phil Jackson would do. If Kobe Bryant were even more of a ball hog than usual, you go 8 for 34, you're turning it over, even Phil would be like Kobe. Kobe, play within our triangle offense. Doc doesn't give a shit. DJs would, again, more trench, we're having a good time. Check him out there. And DJ, he quit in the second quarter. Tonight, I think he quit when the ball jumped up in the first quarter. How can you watch what Tobias Harris did and not bench the guy? It got to a point in the fourth quarter, we're making our comeback, and I'm like, please tell me about that, please tell me about that, please tell me about that. Because they were questionable charging called with Ray Griffin. I don't care at this point whether they were questionable or not. You would have won if he fouled out. That's where we are. We're at the point where we need Tobias Harris to foul out because our coach, our so-called championship winning coach, and now I know what Clipper fans felt. This guy, how do you not see on the floor? You've got to realize on the floor and be like, okay, now what? I know you want to have faith in your guys. And I know that's what allows you to win a lot of games, get a lot of people's trust. I know you want to have faith in your guys. But I can only go so far. If you're at FIFA 17, when you're at FIFA 13, you should have told them, okay, I want you to take your shots within the offense. It's unfortunate you missed a corner three, all right? But don't foul the guy. And as a matter of fact, because you were getting burned by him all night, switch. He can't guard Durant. Few people can. But you had other options who were doing okay enough. And you don't have to put Tobias on an island. Switch. Lord. If that was the worst game of Tobias Harris's career, it was also the worst coaching performance of Doc Rivers. And I am on hashtag Fire Doc Rivers. Long 2.0 is right. He is worse than Brett Brown at the tactical decisions. That's what you need to win a championship. I know he's going to eat salary. Hey, you can eat salary. You're a multi-billionaire. He's not the coach to move forward. And then, long term, how to fix this organization. I don't care if we trade for a player, particularly with all-star appearances on our top 5, whatever. I don't give a shit. If the player has accolades and stuff, that's great. But unlike Ben Simmons, I never gave too much of a shit for it. The NBA All-Star Game is not the NFL Pro Bowl, Daryl Morey. It has less reputation on it. Seriously. People who go to the Pro Bowl, they're legitimately, guys who don't make the Pro Bowl who are damn good. Tobias Harris, you didn't make the All-Star Game because you're not an All-Star. There, period. You're not an All-Star. Ben Simmons, you didn't get the votes from the fans to be a starter because we don't view you as one of the top 15 players in the world. And quite frankly, players who don't play, players who don't practice with their teammates, I don't think they're worth the accolades or the praise. So no, these overrated bums that you ended up paying $200 million to, they're not the ones. They're not the ones moving forward. They're not what's going to bring you to a championship. So even if you don't get the accolade players, Daryl, you need somebody. You need to start building around Joel Embiid. I think Tyrese Maxey can get you your accolades. If we have won enough games, if we had some bucking rebounding, if we didn't have Matisse Thybulle, who, he's great at defense, but the offensive liability, like I said, it strips the defense down, makes it hard for a driver and Maxey. If you didn't have these circumstances, I think you would have seen more consistency. I think you would have won more games. I think he would have made your All-Star game. There you go. There's the All-Star. And if he doesn't make it this year, he damn straight making it next year. He's too good not to. So you have an All-Star player already in Tyrese Maxey, Daryl. I need you to get off your lazy ass and do something for this ball club. Whether it be this year or for the long term, I don't care which. But we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot continue to go down this road where Danny Green and Matisse Thybulle are your best wingman, where Shake Milton is your backup point guard. This is disrespectful to Joel Embiid. And more importantly, it's disrespectful to your organization. Tobias Harris was contract in the league, fine. We knew this when we hired you. We wanted them both gone before Tobias Harris had his breakout year under Doc. Well, we're right back there to it. You had two jobs. You got rid of Al Horford. Now you got to get rid of Tobias Harris. And build around Joel Embiid. Build around Joel Embiid. Build around Joel Embiid. Build around Embiid. Build around Tyrese Maxey. Get a wingman with some size and shooting. Get a wingman with size and shooting and spread the floor. And they can put the ball on the floor. Just get better players. No more 3-and-D. Oh my God, this is a 3-and-D guy. 3-and-D guys are literally, if you were to, I don't know if you've seen these videos. They're the videos of certain, whether it be shows or movies or characters, and they go from F tier to A tier. We got a bunch of C tier, D tier. I'll be fair and put Tyrese Maxey at B+ tier. I won't put him in A tier yet, but I believe he'll be an A tier player next year. So you got one A tier player in Joel Embiid. You got another A tier player in Tyrese Maxey. When Ben wants to play, it's probably a B+, sometimes C- tier. Here's the problem. Your entire roster, as far as I'm concerned, you don't got the guy next to Embiid. And Daryl Morey, you're right about that, but guess what? You're not going to get the guy for a guy who's not playing. Take the long-term approach. That's what I want to see from you. If we're not going to have this year, and we definitely aren't, not with this scrub-ass roster, fine. Put this roster in position for the future. The reason why the Sixers fans were willing to go through the process is that there was a plan. Yes, a plan for it with the plot holes, especially with Sam Hinkie's failure to draft, and that's still the primary reason. 8 first-round draft picks between 2015 and 2017. You only got one starter in Joel Embiid. Oh, and one crybaby who's not paying for you. The rest are on different teams. That's amazing. And yes, none of the Wild are solid backup for the Knicks. Yes, Jeremy Grant is somewhat flourishing for the Pistons. But, my Lord, the point of drafting, and then first round picks. Jimmy Graham with the second round pick. But no, the one with the first round pick. Daryl with the first round pick. Daryl Sark with the first round pick. They're supposed to be on the contract. You know, and even though we ended up getting Tyrese Maxey from the Markelle Fultz deal, so in the end, I'm going to say awesome to that. But even still, the principle is, how are you drafting first round picks? How are they not on your roster? Not even beyond the rookie contract. It's embarrassing. The waste of assets is fucking embarrassing. Somebody say, that's exactly why. No. The idea and the hope of someone overselling for Ben Simmons and waiting until they oversell for him is the definition of another asset waste. If you're not able to directly trade Ben for a star, yes, take the long haul. We went through the long haul for 5 years. Now you're telling me you're not willing to go through the long haul? Now you're telling me you're not willing to put yourself in position if it takes you a little longer? Is that what you're telling me? Michael Rubin, Jonathan Harris? That's what you're telling me? You're telling me you're not willing to put in the stuff to be a contender? And you need this immediate quick fix? You need this mulligan? And there's no other possible way for you to look at this roster? That what you're telling me? That's what you're telling Joel? And trade Joel Embiid at that point. Trade Joel Embiid so he can go to a contender. We literally are in the same position that the Portland Trailblazers are in. We refuse to get help for our superstar, and we refuse to look at any other different way for building around the superstar. That's sick. The Eagles are a healthier franchise than the Sixers. Oh my God, who would have thought that 12 months ago? As bad as it was before we hired Doc and Daryl. Remember, we were all excited. Oh my God, this pedigreed coach won the championship with the Celtics. And oh my God, this executive from Houston, who I'm more disappointed in that. You know, Woj comes on and he talks about, this is the guy who's made as many deals as the Sixers have made over that span of time. And now he's putting his best Brianangelo version on of just not giving a damn while the whole thing is on DEFCON 5 and melting before his very eyes. Somebody say, you know, wouldn't it be funny if this video comes out and you just look like a tool when the trade happens? I don't mind looking at the tool. I don't mind that. I would rather be happy if we find out in the next 72 hours that our inactive general manager actually gives a fuck. I would be more than happy to be made a fool of. Because being made a fool of in this instance means that he actually is going to fix this problem. I don't think, based on his statement, if it takes 4 years. Daryl, fans pay season tickets, you jackass. You might have 4 years. Maybe Jonathan Harris, for some stupid reason, is willing to, I guess since the money is escrow, he's not losing it, but you're damn well not using it to contend either. So, at some point, and I actually want that point to be now, you know, we're at a point very similarly to the Cowboy fans and Jerry Jones. If you have a suck-ass product, why are you supporting said product? So, you might have 4 years, Daryl, but we don't. We don't have 4 years. Somebody say, you were talking to them about patience for long-term building. The keywords there at the end, long-term building, as a plan, as an approach. You understand what you want to do. Here, you're praying for somebody to buy your overrated asset at an overrated price so you can make out like a bandit. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No one is going to give you your mulligan for a player who's not even paying. So continuing to hope for the mulligan is not a strategy. I repeat, Daryl, it's not a plan. I could do that. In fact, it's even less of a plan than the Hinkie process. It's even less of a plan than that. Fire Doc, fire Daryl. If this is what we're getting from them, then their overhyped reputations definitely, most certainly preceded them.